Life is full of delicious moments, like when a big table of friends feels like a big table of family, or when the meal you made and shared brings in all the likes on your feed. That's why Carando offers premium meatballs, delicious, savored meatballs made with real Italian flavors, to help you savor the big and small moments that make life so good. Carando. Life is delicious. Savor it. For recipes and more, visit carando.com.
The Big Bark, listen up dog owners, it's for you, all you canine lovers.
It's your favorite podcast, The Big Bark, with your host Darragh Burke and canine co-hosts
Bruno
and Milly.
The Big Bark.
Hello and a big welcome to the Big Bark, Ireland's favourite canine podcast. I'm your host Darragh Burke, and as per usual, I'm joined by Milly, who has literally actually just walked in the door here now. And Milly is very happy in the last week, because last week was Milly's gotcha day. So she got loads of treats, loads of toys. And I think there's still some treats that she left. She got lots of pig's ears, and she got some pig snouts. She got Oreo type cookies for dogs, so the Trixie ones, which they absolutely love. She got a cake made for her, and that was thanks to her mammy. Jen made her a lovely cake, which actually is quite, I suppose, easy enough to do. It consisted of a giant flat burger covered in, I believe, some sort of yogurt, like Greek style or natural yogurt. And if you've seen on her Instagram, obviously the yogurt had a bit of food colour in them, so it was like really like pinky popply. And if you've seen on her Instagram, you'll see herself and Bruno wearing their party hats. So we've been asking you, kind of, how big do you go for your dog's birthday? And I'm actually amazed by some of the answers that have come in, and I've even seen pictures come in from people about the cakes that they actually bake for their dogs on their birthdays or gotcha days, and they're a work of art is what they are. Some of these are better than birthday cakes that you'd actually buy in a bakery, and everyone basically who has been saying that they spoil their dogs, rightly so. And we got many happy wishes for Milly for her gotcha day. She is with her 6 years now. And, well, Milly was only meant to be with us for originally, we thought her a few weeks, maybe a couple of months, but we are so glad that 6 years on, Milly is still with us. So today it's going to be a short enough show today. Don't have a huge amount really to cover. We will have our health hub coming up a bit later with three vets in Limerick and Shannon. And we'll be joining Dr. Siobhan O'Neill to chat about the importance of vaccinations. Because one thing I've noticed online recently is, and I'm just going to go and say it, these anti-vaxxers that are out there who are against vaccinating their own children or vaccinating themselves, and the complete utter BS that comes out of them about vaccinations. And I've actually seen people being anti-vaxxers for dog vaccination. Like, I'm even here as I'm looking. So there's anti-vax pet owners out there, and we're going to be talking to Siobhan O'Neill from Treaty Vets about why it's so important to get your dogs vaccinated. Like there's obviously there is the 5-in-1 vaccine, which protects us from so many different illnesses or diseases, which is really important. And we'll be chatting to Dr. Siobhan O'Neill a small bit later on. First of all, I don't want to spend too much time on this now, because we have spent a lot of time on this recently. But I do want to give you an update on Kim and Dona Rogers. You would have heard last week withdrew his High Court appeal against the destruction order for his dog Kim, and he withdrew that on Thursday, the 28th of July. And it's led to some people believing that Donald has given up. That's not the case at all. Donald hasn't given up, but he was actually told by the High Court back on the 4th of July that the appeal and the case was not actually a suitable case for the High Court. He was directed at that time to bring the case back to the Circuit Court and bring the appeal there. And he's bringing the case back with new evidence, and Donald has spoken to various different newspapers over the last week, and he has said that this is far from over. He offered to take this woman, he's spoken out, and he said he offered to take the woman to the hospital, but who came back, but she refused to travel with me. The woman, who was in her 60s, was taken by a neighbour. We all know who this is at this stage now, this horrible, horrible individual who just is an animal here. And Donald had made a plea, and she ignored our pleas. The petition at this stage has gathered over 165,000 signatures, and the online GoFundMe page separately raised more than over 8,500. Donald said in the last week that he's flabbergasted by the support. He said the battle is far from over, not even half over. My supporters are fighting to keep Kim alive. I have wonderful support from all over the country, and I can assure you that my supporters will not allow this dog to be put down. That is all I can say. And the dog cannot be seized because Kim is not on the list of dangerous dogs. So the dog cannot be seized. Donald knows that he is possibly breaching a court order right now, but he is willing to fight this, and he's willing to go all the way to protect Kim. And I definitely applaud this man. I applaud everyone who's given him support so far. And let's just hopefully see a happy ending to this story. And let's hope that all the support that's there has been worth it, and Kim is kept alive. Now, in another, I hate sad stories. I really do. Unfortunately, though, another story has come out this week about an Irish family search for a missing autism comfort dog has ended in tragedy. So a dog called Rua, they up in County Meath, I believe. Was it in County Meath or County Louth? It was up that side of the country anyway. The family of an autism dog, comfort dog, missing for 19 days, have thanked the public for their help after she was finally located but had suffered fatal injuries. Rua, a golden labradoodle, had been missing from the Bonds family home in County Antrim. County Antrim it was since 14th July, when she was last seen by her owner, who was mowing the lawn. Despite desperate searches and extensive searches by the families, volunteers from Lost Paws and there were no reported signs of Rua. After searching across the neighbouring lands and the River Main, asking local farmers, begging people to check sheds, they feared that she had been stolen. However, on August 1st, so earlier this week, the remains of an 18-month-old dog, identified as Rua, were finally located, bringing the huge search operation to an end, and it's believed she died shortly after she got missing. Our sympathies are with the family of, here on the Big Bark, are with the family of Rua, and our deepest sympathies for the loss of Rua to this heartbroken family. And it's something that is horrible for any dog owner. And the fact that she was an autism comfort dog, it makes it even so much harder. So our sympathies here from the Big Bark to the family of her. It is quite horrible when you hear these stories. And like I said, I really hate even telling sad stories. Now, on the other side of the coin, there is a major smuggling operation that was kind of shitstorm this week, if I can put it like that. A man was arrested in Northern Ireland and 57 animals seized in an animal smuggling operation. Police believe the animals were smuggled in from the Republic and they would have been taken to England or Scotland. The man who was arrested, a 44-year-old, he was actually believed to be running a dog transportation business, and he was using that business as a front for his legal operations. All I say is that man can absolutely, hopefully he rots in jail for a lot of his life. I hope the North have more stricter laws than what we have down here. A quantity of cash was also seized. The man does remain in custody, and the breeds of puppies found include Golden Retriever, Cockapoo, Miniature Terrier, French Bulldog, American Bulldog, Cocker Spaniel, Dachshunds, and a Rowan Spaniel. Can't say I've ever heard of Rowan Spaniel, but the conditions, the crates that they were in, and 57 dog seized. So I think that's a major breakthrough. And the more that we see this kind of stuff cracked down on, the better, because it's about time that we see people being held accountable for the cruel actions towards our pets and towards any animals in general. So, okay, with that, we're going to go over now to and chat a bit about vaccinations. We're going to be talking on our Health Hub with Dr. Siobhan O'Neill from Trusty Vets.
Do you have a pet in need of a vet, or do you need some health advice for your four-legged friend? Whether it's for a regular checkup, microchipping, vaccinations, or critical urgent care, you can rest assured knowing that your pet is in loving hands at Trusty Veterinary Clinic, Limerick and Shannon. Providing care for your pet since 1986, at Trusty Vets, your pet is our priority. Call our 24-hour number 061 328 511 or make an appointment through our website www.treatyveterinaryclinic.com or find us on Facebook or Instagram, Trusty Veterinary Clinic, proud sponsors of the Health Hub on the Big Bark.
And we're back on the Health Hub this week, which is brought to you by Trusty Veterinary Clinic, and we're joined by Dr. Siobhan O'Neill. Siobhan, welcome back to the Big Bark.
Thanks for having me back, Darragh. Delighted to be back.
Great, and I hope you're enjoying the summer so far.
I am, absolutely. Yeah,
Good,
loving
good.
it.
So, Siobhan, today we're going to talk a bit about vaccinations, and there's a lot of different vaccinations out there. So I'm just going to let you talk a bit about the different types of vaccinations and the importance of getting your dog vaccinated.
Okay, yeah. So I think this is a really important topic. Obviously, we see patients in every day to get their booster vaccinations, their annual booster vaccinations, so their yearly booster vaccinations. And sometimes I say to I ask a lot of clients, do you actually know what you're vaccinating your dog against? And you'd be surprised to know the amount of people that have no idea what they're actually vaccinating their dogs against. So I think it's important that they know that the booster vaccination, it's a small little injection that goes under the skin, and it's to protect them against, it's immunization for fatal viruses, and most of these viruses are highly contagious. There's just a few main ones that I want to go through here. So every year your dog would be vaccinated against distemper, hepatitis, parvo, parainfluenza, and leptospirosis. Okay, so when people hear these words, these viruses, they don't understand what they mean. Distemper basically causes these flu-like symptoms. It causes lethargy, it causes vomiting. It really, really makes the dog very debilitated. It's fatal. If they do recover, they usually have permanent neurological signs, which means permanent brain damage. And obviously then the dog would have no quality of life. So the next one we vaccinate for then is hepatitis. And a lot of people would have heard of hepatitis A or hepatitis C in humans. So this is similar. This is very infectious and it's very, very contagious. So it can be spread to other dogs very, very fast. Symptoms can come on within 24 hours. Basically, it targets the liver. So if the liver is not working properly, your dog's going to be very, very sick. Then it can spread to the lungs and all the other body organs, and then it gets into the blood vessels, and then the dog dies. So again, this one is fatal. The next one we have is now all these vaccinations that I'm talking about today are given with one injection. So it's all in one syringe. It's not lots of different injections. So it's just one injection. So the next one I'm going to talk about, which a lot of people would have heard about, is parvovirus. Now we see a lot of parvovirus in young puppies that aren't vaccinated, but you can actually get parvo. Older dogs can get parvovirus as well. It's really a horrible disease. It attacks the gastrointestinal tract. So you see a lot of vomiting, diarrhea. The puppy will get really dehydrated very, very quickly, and this it also leads to sepsis. So another word for sepsis is blood poisoning, and then the dogs can die within 48 hours if they don't get immediate veterinary attention. So the next one I wanted to talk about then just briefly is para-influenza. So influenza, as people would know, is similar to the flu virus, but it's not anything like the human flu virus. Again, it's very contagious, highly contagious. It's a respiratory virus, so it affects the lungs, the upper respiratory tract. And this virus is actually one of the most common viruses that's in the canine coughing virus. And at the moment, we are seeing so many dogs with this canine coughing virus, previously known as kennel cough. You may know it as kennel cough. We don't call it kennel cough anymore, simply due to the fact that people thought they just had to get their dogs vaccinated against kennel cough if they were going into kennels. But that's just not the case.
Life is full of delicious moments, like when a big table of friends feels like a big table of family, or when the meal you made and shared brings in all the likes on your feed. That's why Carando offers premium meatballs, delicious, savored meatballs made with real Italian flavors, to help you savor the big and small moments that make life so good. Carando. Life is delicious. Savor it. For recipes and more, visit carando.com.
Kennel cough, or the coughing virus, is basically a mixture of lots of different bacteria and viruses. So it's not just viruses, it's bacteria as well. And it is, again, extremely contagious. It's spread in droplet form. So it's spread like the flu virus or coronavirus. The dog can pick it up just walking by another dog on the street. And it really depresses the immune system. So their immune system will be very weakened, and it causes this awful, like, whooping cough. It can be a productive cough. It's like they have something stuck in their throat. They can bring up white foam, and it can take 3 weeks for this cough to subside. And you can imagine how inflamed the throat is, the tonsils, and all the upper respiratory tract. So the trachea or the windpipe, it's all really, really inflamed. It's red. It's really, really sore. And if this is not treated, it can actually spread down into the lungs and cause a pneumonia. And if you have a pneumonia in dogs, that's quite serious, and it can be very, very difficult to treat. The bacteria that get into the lungs, it's really hard to treat. You got to get a really strong antibiotic to get in there and kill those nasty little bugs that get into the lungs. So that would be basically your yearly vaccination that you have to get for your dog. And we send out reminders every 12 months. So once we see the dog in, we'll do a health check before we give the vaccination, just to make sure that the animal is healthy. And then 12 months later, we'll send out a text reminder just to let you know when your dog is due for the vaccination again. So I would always advise everyone to get their annual booster and the coughing vaccination every year. And then just one other vaccination that we give, not to every dog, but some dogs that are traveling, is the rabies virus vaccination. Now, the rabies vaccination in Ireland lasts for 3 years, but again, it depends on where you're traveling to. And if people have any questions on getting a passport for their pets, or on the rabies vaccination, or on what country they're traveling to, they can call the clinic or find us on social media and ask us any questions there, and we can help them out there. So that's just kind of a brief rundown of just a little explanation of why we're immunizing our dogs every year. As I said, all these viruses are highly infectious, they're highly contagious, they are fatal, and I've seen so many dogs die from all of these diseases that I've not mentioned, and they can be prevented by a simple vaccination every year.
That's great, Siobhan. And Siobhan, we've got a couple of questions in on our WhatsApp at 08301135888 for anyone who wants to send in questions. And one of the questions we got was, how important is it to keep a written record of vaccination details?
Well, it depends if the animal is going to a dog walker or going to doggy daycare or going into a kennel. Then you would have to have a vaccination record to show proof that the animal is vaccinated. You should always have the stickers and the signature from the vet and the stamp from the vet. But if you don't have a written record of it, we will always have a record on our systems. So it's no problem for us to make up a new vaccination card if you lose it or if it gets mislaid or anything like that.
Perfect.
So it's not necessary. Yeah, it's not necessary to have one. Because we will always have your vet will always have the records.
But it would be important as well, like for there to be a record there for even like for pet insurance providers as well. I know the pet insurance company that we had Bruno with had previously asked me for the records of his annual boosters. So. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's very important. Actually, Darragh, I just forgot one there. It's leptospirosis. That's another very important one because there's 4 different types of leptospirosis. So we vaccinated against four different strains, should I say. And we see leptospirosis a lot in dogs, and it attacks the liver. And this one is transmissible to humans. So this is very, very important. If your dog catches this, you could catch it from your dog. And you can get very, very sick from that. I forgot to mention that one. And again, this is all within the one injection. Wow. Okay. So like there are actually some illnesses that you can catch from your dog if you're not properly vaccinated.
Absolutely. Yeah. And leptospirosis would probably be the main one. Yeah.
Okay. And one final question that we have here: how would you know if your dog has had a bad reaction to a vaccine?
So usually if a dog is going to have a reaction, you would see it pretty soon after the vaccination. I've never actually seen a very severe reaction to a vaccination, like an anaphylactic reaction where the animal can't breathe or anything like that. I've never seen that happen. I always do say to people, look, they may be a bit sleepy later on, or they might not want to have their evening meal, similar to when you or I get a booster vaccination or something like that. It can make you feel a little bit out of sorts for about 24 hours. Sometimes they can get a little vaccination reaction just at the back of the neck there where we give the injection, just a little lump or bump, but that again should resolve within about 24 to 48 hours.
That's great, Siobhan. And that's Dr. Siobhan O'Neill joining us on the Health Hub from Treaty Vets today. Thanks again, Siobhan, for joining us.
No problem, Darragh. Thanks for having me.
Do you have a pet in need of a vet, or do you need some health advice for your 4-legged friend? Whether it's for a regular checkup, microchipping, vaccinations, or critical urgent care, you can rest assured knowing that your pet is in loving hands at Treaty Veterinary Clinic, Limerick and Shannon. Providing care for your pet since 1986, at Treaty Vets, your pet is our priority. Call our 24-hour number 061 328 511 or make an appointment through our website www.treatyveterinaryclinic.com or find us on Facebook or Instagram, Treaty Veterinary Clinic, proud sponsors of the Health Hub on the Big Bark.
So thanks again there to Dr. Siobhan O'Neill for chatting to us on the importance of getting your dogs vaccinated. Now, I spoke a bit earlier about these complete twats, complete idiots of anti-vaxxers who were refusing to get their dogs vaccinated. And while speaking with Siobhan, I came across this article online, and believe it or not, there's actually some anti-vaxxers over in the US, and are making these ridiculous claims about pets and vaccines, and they've been repeating these about children and vaccines for the past 20 years. They say that dogs can get autism from vaccines. Now, so apparently, this is just idiotic, to be honest, that vaccines, they're saying, can cause a form of canine autism along with other diseases. So, look, to be honest, these anti-vaxxers need to get a life. If I offend anyone by saying that, I'm not sorry. Not one bit sorry whatsoever, because they need to get a life. And it's... vaccinations for dogs, as you heard from Dr. Sean O'Neill, they help to prevent so many diseases. The side effects are very rare, as Siobhan mentioned earlier, and it's the side effects even from vaccines, they're very, very mild. It's very, very rare that you would see a serious side effect. So, to anti-vaxxers who are saying, don't get your dog vaccinated, I just say, well, go get an education for yourself. But yeah, let's see what else is in the news this week. I came across a few things online there this week, alright, and I suppose one thing that's coming up actually is, let me just see when that is. Just gotta have a quick look here. I know I'm kind of blahing around here now. But, okay, so coming up in Limerick in the next couple of weeks, I believe it is... What is it? Is it 22nd of August, I believe? Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Sorry, no, it's not. It is the 18th of August. Thursday, the 18th of August. Limerick Canine and District Canine Club have an event in the Woodlands Hotel in Adare. So that's one to watch out for. It is probably one of the biggest dog shows in Ireland. So I believe that's one of the biggest ones around. So yeah, make sure that if you're around, you get out to that and check it out. I'm hoping to be there myself, and look, we'll see what the day holds ahead, and hopefully that will give us something to look forward to during the week. Now, let's see. So that's let's try to see what else is actually going on, because it's that time of year where there's not really a lot kind of happening. So there are there's a few dog shows going on. I believe there will be one at Limerick Horse and Pony Show as well, the Limerick Agricultural Show. There will be a dog show at that, which takes place at the end of August. So we'll bring you more updates on that as well. And I'm just having a quick look here online to see what else is going on. And if you know of any events actually that are going on, be sure that you send in an email to us, or if you have any doggy related events going on, we'll be sure to let people know here. There's not really a lot that goes on, I suppose, during the summer months, because a lot of people are away. But if you have anything going on, let us know by email. Email studio@thebigbark.ie, or text our WhatsApp number, which is 083-011-3588. And yeah, so be sure that you give the heads up to us, and we'll be sure to give a shout out on stage, or if you want to come on and chat to us about an event, we'll be more than happy to do that too. And I think that's actually really all that I have to talk about today, because I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't really... Look, August is quite, in general, I didn't really prepare a huge amount for this episode, because I've been kind of working on stuff this week, and we're going to be kind of taking a break now in a couple of weeks, just to get a couple of week break from the show and get some new content recorded as well. And, well, look, I think I'm going to leave it at that for today because, you know, it's a lovely evening out there. It is actually later this week, recording it. It is Friday evening, 5th of August, that we're recording this. And usually I record this on kind of like a Wednesday or Thursday, and usually released on a Thursday. But been so swamped with everything this week that I just didn't get around to it. But look, that kind of stuff happens, and it's something that we can, it'll all work out in the end, and we'll all be grand. But I'm going to stop waffling now, because I'd say people get a bit bored of me voice at times. Although I was told in a recent interview that I had a very soothing voice. Very odd. I have a voice for radio or something, apparently. Now, I will tell you, I know I don't have a face, or I do have a face for radio. I know that. Sorry to any radio presenters if I just insulted them there, but actually not sorry. Well, yeah, that's really all that there is time for today. So be sure that if you have anything to let us know about, because it might actually give us an extra few minutes on the show to chat about something, be sure to let us know. You have our WhatsApp, you have our email, you have our Instagram, and you have our Facebook. But if you don't have those, I'm going to tell you now anyway. Facebook and Instagram, the Big Bar Podcast, find us there. On Twitter, find us at the handle Big Bar Podcast. They wouldn't let us put in the date because it was apparently 3 characters too long. Maybe 1 character too long, and I wasn't exactly going to leave out a character because, TikTok, still not on it. Still, I'm not going to lie, I don't know how to use it. I work in technology and I don't know how to use technology. It's pretty sad, really. But yeah, check out all our previous episodes on the BigBark.ie. We're on Spotify, we're on iTunes. We are on every podcast platform out there. Amazon Music, Podchaser. Be sure to leave us a review, by the way, give us an rating over on Spotify or on iTunes as well, or Apple Podcasts, or whatever they call it nowadays. Amazon, I think, have some sort of a rating system too. Look, if you like the show, give us a 5-star rating. We'll be delighted to actually have people give us a rating as well. Be sure as well, subscribe, follow us on Spotify and iTunes so that you get notifications for every new episode. And that's really all for today. So I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to say good luck to you all. Give your doggies lots of hugs and have a great week.
Big Bark, listen up, dog owners. It's for you, all you canine lovers.
It's your favorite podcast, The Big Bark, with your host, Darragh Burke, and canine co-hosts,
Bruno
and Milly.
The Big Bark.
I did it for my son.
I did it for my neighbor.
When I filled my son's prescription, my pharmacist told me that accidents can happen. He provided me with Narcan.
I had to be prepared. For me and the people around me.
Be the one when it counts. Ask for Narcan nasal spray, naloxone hydrochloride. Learn more at Narcan.com, sponsored by Emergent Biosolutions.